Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Hi there.
We take source material today, it's Today in America, June 16th, 2025 headlines, and, well, we try to pull out the key insights. Fast.
Exactly. The idea is to cut through all the noise, figure out what's really going on in the
And
news.
what it might mean for you, right, without getting totally overwhelmed.
Precisely. We're here to help navigate the reports and get to the so what.
So today, looking at these headlines, we've got four big areas.
Yeah, it seems like it. There's a major Supreme Court thing, this heat emergency.
Right, AI regulation moving in D.C., and, oh yeah, consumer confidence number.
It's quite a mix. Law, weather, tech, the economy, all hitting at once.
Definitely shaping the landscape.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into that first one. The Supreme Court headlines say a landmark decision today.
That's right. According to the source, the court brought back some key provisions of the Voting Rights Act.
Okay, key provisions. What does that mean practically?
Well, it means bringing back certain federal oversight tools for places, jurisdictions with a documented history of voter suppression or discrimination. That's what the report indicates.
And why is that considered landmark? What does it do on the ground?
Well, it really changes the legal footing for running elections in those specific areas, places covered by the old rules.
Mm-hmm.
The report notes it's likely to impact upcoming elections, things like polling place changes, maybe voter ID laws, how those get reviewed.
And I imagine the reactions are strong.
Oh, yeah. The source mentions reactions across the political spectrum, really underscores how big a deal this is seen to be.
Wow. Okay, so big legal shifts there.
Right.
Now let's pivot to something maybe more immediate for a lot of folks listening. The weather, major headlines there too.
Indeed. The source is pointing to a really intense heat wave. It's sweeping across the Midwest and the North right now.
Yeah, the report sounds pretty serious. It specifically mentions cities like Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit.
Under intense heat alerts, temperatures soaring, it says, well over 100 Fahrenheit.
And it talks about safety, doesn't it? The need for precautions, impact on vulnerable people.
Exactly. People who might not have access to cooling. And it mentions records being broken in some spots.
It really drives home how these, extreme weather events aren't just numbers.
Not at all. They have immediate public health impacts.
Even infrastructure, right?
Right. The source mentions that, concerns about power grids getting strained.
Yeah, and the need for public cooling centers. It just highlights tied together the environment and our daily lives, our safety really are.
Absolutely. Okay, so from literal heat to maybe the changing digital climate, the source mentions AI regulation progress in Congress.
Yes, that's in there. Says a new bipartisan bill passed a key House committee. It's aimed at regulating artificial intelligence.
Bipartisan on AI reg. That feels significant.
It does. The bill, according to the source, would require tech companies to be more transparent about how they use AI, especially in sensitive areas. So this could really shape how AI gets developed and used in the U.S.?
Potentially, yes. It brings up that big question, How do we balance innovation speed with the guardrails we need for safety, fairness, accountability?
And the bipartisan nature suggests maybe there is a growing consensus that we need to think carefully about AI's foundations, like right now.
Seems that way. It's definitely a space to watch.
Okay, and finally, let's check the economic temperature. News on consumer confidence today.
Right. The source reports the June Consumer Confidence Index. It's climbed. Hit a 5-month high, actually.
A 5-month high. That sounds pretty positive. Does the report say why?
Yeah, it links it directly to good trends, like
Okay.
continued strong hiring and inflation rates falling.
Making household budgets feel a little less tight.
Exactly. And the report breaks down what that improved feeling could mean for consumer spending, maybe even parts of the housing market.
But is it all good news? Or is there a but?
Well, that's the interesting part. While confidence is up because of those positive signs jobs, inflation moving the right way, the source also notes that many experts quoted are still cautious.
Cautious how?
They're flagging a potential slowdown, maybe later in the year. So you've got this sort of duality.
Current optimism versus expert caution.
Precisely. It's a crucial nuance, really, for understanding the whole economic picture and how it might affect your finances.
Okay, so quite a range we've covered just from today's headlines. We went from the Supreme Court on voting rights,
To that major heat wave impacting health and infrastructure.
then significant moves on regulating AI,
And finally, that complex economic signal from consumer confidence.
And understanding the core of these, the nuances, like you said, that's really the key, isn't it? To navigate things without just getting lost in the noise.
Exactly, seeing past the headlines to the context.
So thinking about these four big items from today's source material, what stands out most to you? Which feels most relevant, most impactful to your life right now? And, why?
It's always interesting to consider how these different threads might connect, maybe in your own community or situation.
Definitely something to think about. Well, this has been our quick deep dive into today's headlines from your source.
And remember, there's always more depth to explore within the material itself.